News at noon. Well, 3 murder accused, a 16-year-old among them, are to face the law courts today. The two Pyland residents, Darian Ronald Nurse, 21 years, of Stratford Hill, and 16-year-old Kashawn Leroy David Green of Shepton Lane, along with Shaquille Deshawn Maynard, 21 years, of Block D North Close, Wildy, will appear at the District A Magistrates Court after being jointly charged with the murder of Sherna Rose on May the 12th. Reports are that Rose and others were gathered in an area at Neil's Tenantry when a group of men approached and opened fire. Rose was shot in his upper torso and collapsed and died. At the scene, another man was shot in the left foot. Nurse, Maynard and Green are also jointly charged with the offense of wounding. Well, also appearing in court on a separate matter is Guyanese national Latoya Kanisha Smart. The 25-year-old customer service representative was held 2 days ago at the Grantley Adams International Airport after 8 packages of cannabis weighing 1 pound were discovered hidden in her luggage. She faces charges of possession of cannabis, possession with intent to supply, trafficking, and importation. Meantime, a man is in stable condition over at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital after he was shot while at Browns Beach last evening. The man sustained a gunshot wound to the left side of his chest. Now, his name has not been released and police are continuing their investigations into that matter. Well, no one has been able to access the $900 million made available for countries like Barbados and others in the Commonwealth to fight the effects of climate change. But the new Secretary General, Baroness Patricia Scotland, is intent on changing this as she continues to coordinate relief efforts for Dominica. The island was hit last year by a devastating tropical storm, which caused about $500 million in damage. Baroness Scotland says a climate finance hub has been set up in Mauritius, and they're hoping to replicate this in Belize, where there is a climate change center.
We hope to put a financial advisor to help in Belize to be the regional coordinator and assistant in order to enable the Caribbean countries to get the advice and support they can make. I've also had conversations with Christine Lagarde from the IMF and the World Bank about the whole issue of vulnerability, so that we're not just looking at GDP, but we're also looking at the vulnerability of our countries.
She says they're also looking to see how they can get more private philanthropists and benefactors involved.
For example, I was delighted 2 days ago to hear that we've managed to secure funding of, I think, as much as £150,000 to help with the development of the Climate Change Resource Center in Dominica in Roseau. It's a beginning. There's much more for us to do, but I think we all need to look very practically to say what practical things can we do together which will make a difference.
The high number of young people in Barbados being referred to the juvenile liaison schemes reflects the need for parents to get help raising their children. And that's the view of chairperson of the My Child and I charity, Francine Charles. Referring to recent statistics, Ms. Charles says over 600 teenagers had been in these facilities for several reasons, including being socially disruptive. She said she was speaking at the charity's free parenting workshop held at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center.
When I see that 669 children in Barbados in 2 years are referred to juvenile liaison schemes, and this represents increases over the years. Ages between 12 and 13, and 70% of them are referred for general behavioral problems. It suggests that children are becoming more and more socially deviant, while parents are becoming less and less able to manage their households.
Ms. Charles says the growing phenomena of several single-parent-headed households in the region also needs to be addressed.
I am troubled when I hear 42% of Caribbean families are headed by only one parent. It means that children are not receiving the balance that was determined through the natural creativity and creation of God Himself in terms of procreation. So that thing is not going beyond actually having children.
Anglican Bishop of Barbados and Archbishop of the West Indies, the Most Reverend Dr. John Holder, is urging Guyanese living here in Barbados to see how they can help to improve their homeland. His comments came during a service held at the St. Michael's Cathedral to celebrate Guyana's 50th anniversary of independence. Dr. Holder notes that while independence celebrations are synonymous with nationalism and idealism, citizens should always seek to improve the real world.
Can you give a week or a month to some project there? Can you contribute financially to some worthy cause? If you're doing this, though, can you give a bit more? Can you adopt a child who may be in need? Surely you can identify what your country has given to you. How about giving something back?
Dr. Holder notes the relationship between Barbados and Guyana has deep historical roots and is a testament of the Caribbean integration and the interdependence between the two countries.
We should never downplay our interdependence or overlook the significant contributions we have made to the development of each other's country. In any discussion of the Ghana-Barbados relationship, for example, the story of the Barbadian cane workers and sugar workers who went to Guyana to help there with the sugar industry many years ago will feature prominently. But in our time, we can point to many Guyanese from all walks of life who are resident here in Barbados and contribute in a significant way to its welfare and to its development.
Well, Barbadian Grammy Award winner Rihanna was in winner's row at the 2016 Billboard Awards last night. She took home the Billboard Chart Achievement Award during that show. An appreciative Rihanna thanked all during her speech. Rihanna was also nominated Top Female Artist, Top R&B Artist, and Top R&B Album. The Weeknd went home the big Billboard Award winner of the night, winning a huge 8 awards at that ceremony, while Britney Spears and Celine Dion added to their Billboard Award collections. They took home the Billboard Milestone Award and Billboard's prestigious Icon Award, respectively. Stay with us. We'll have regional and international news right after the break.